Ah! 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 Ah!
So is the door gonna fall off?
Oh, hey, no, shouldn't fall off. The door shouldn't fall off.
How about the wing?
Wings shouldn't fall off.
What are you looking at then?
What I'm looking at is this wing joint on this aircraft here. This is a Hawk XP, but any of the aircraft, the Cessna strutted wings that have the wing bolt or the lift strut attached on the outside, down the bottom, on the outside of the fuselage, are subject to a brand new AD. So we'll talk about that here in a little bit, but if you pull the strut cover off and it looks kind of like that, let's talk about that and we'll go do some reading.
What's that for?
This is time mark. We need a Sharpie. Not a Sharpie. Not a Sharpie.
Yeah, Sharpie.
We need a dry erase. Actually, we need dry erase for other stuff. Okay.
What do you think of the new studio?
Studio is freaking awesome.
It's not new, it's remodeled.
It's remodeled. It's the right wall as opposed to the left and right wall. We have
The camera guy was bitching. He just wanted one shot.
one shot. We have 4 cameras, and I'm gonna somehow splice those together, but we got 4 cameras. Okay.
It's October.
It is October.
Fall.
It is fall. It is not supposed to be hot, but we just finished.
Still pretty hot.
We just finished up a day's work, and we had a hot topic, so we're kind of getting back in the groove of post-flight checklists and some other stuff. We're doing some other shorties. This is going to be kind of a shorty for you. So
They're all short.
yeah. So the big
From now
topic,
on.
the big
I
buzz.
hear everybody's doors are going to fall off their Cessna.
Not doors, wings. Wings are going to fall off
wings?
Cessnas. Yep. FAA has just issued, actually, the community saw it coming, AOPA and a lot of the letter organizations saw it coming. Then your phone is going off. You're supposed to turn that stuff off. What the hey? So, long story short, we had a brand new airworthiness directive drop. Airworthiness
The publisher's house clearing.
Yeah.
Checks coming in.
Your ship is coming in, and you're at the airport.
Right.
Airworthiness Directive 2020-18-01, Textron Aviation, has effective AD. The effective date is November 12th, 2020. Big iron going over. And this affects, I can kind of go through it. I'll tell you what, I'll go through the whole list here real quick for those of you that may not have gotten through it. 172 NP and Q, 172 RGs, all serial numbers, F172 N and P, FR172K and R172K, those are Hawk XPs.
Okay. All of them?
Not all of them, the later build aircraft. 182, this is kind of interesting, 182E, which would be around the early 60s. So 182E through essentially R, all serial numbers, T182, F182P, Q, FR182, all serial numbers. So that's a bunch. Also the R182s, 206s, the big ships, 206s, all serial numbers. P206s, TP206s, all serial numbers. U206s, TU206s, all serial numbers. 207s, all variants, all serial numbers. The 205 and the 210B through F and the T210F, all serial numbers. So this affects a massive aircraft.
The 210 is just a strutted 210.
It's just the strutted 210. So
it's not the cantilever.
The cantilever. They have their own bag of worms that came out a couple months ago. Yeah, we don't want to leave anybody out. So they're out looking around for spars. So this has kind of been a thing. Not for those working the aircraft, not a pop-up. What apparently has happened, and I was kind of going through the interwebs, is quite a while ago, I think several years ago, they went and did a fleet look-at of a bunch of 207s, the super long ships.
Those are the big ones, right?
Yeah, the stationaires, super stationaires, whatever they call them.
Ultra a lot in Alaska?
I think a lot of them are on 135, so they probably were doing some deep dive looking at them, probably some austere fields. long story on that one is they went and looked at a bunch of them. They saw a bunch of cracks. Oh my
Just
God.
in the 207.
Yeah, on the 207, that led them, because they used the same spar attachment, pardon me, not spar, lift strut attachment,
Okay.
where the actual lift strut fitting is outside of the mold line of the aircraft. If you look at the older 150s, 172s, and older 182s, you'd actually bolt, you go inside the aircraft to bolt the lift strut up.
Okay.
These are the aircraft where the fitting actually sticks out of the aircraft.
It's got the
So
fairing.
it got the fairing. So what you can do is you can pop the fairing up, and if you see a bolt on the outside of the aircraft,
It applies to you.
it probably applies to you. Go to the AD note, it will apply to you. So that's what, and let me tell you, first thing we want to know is, well, what are we going to have to do? And I'm going to, I would love to do this real quick, but I'm going to kind of read this to you a little bit. Initial inspection. Stop, rewind. So for aircraft that have, now Cessna came out in 93 and 95 with some upgrade beef up kits for, they knew this was a problem way back. So that was 25, 27 years ago, something like that. So they knew they had a problem. They came out with a fix for it. They've been kind of watching the fleet, not a mandatory fix. So now it's a mandatory thing. Okay, so now you're backed into it. And we'll talk about what it takes to do those. Initial inspections. So here you go. You have an aircraft for aircraft without a lower forward door post bulkhead and wing strut fitting reinforcement kit. And we'll talk about those in a little bit. For airplanes that have accumulated less than 4,000 hours time in service, initially inspect prior to the accumulation of 4,000 hours time in service or within the next 200 hours time in service after the effective date of this AD, which is November. So
You have
within
200
So you got 200 hours from November,
Under 400 or 4,000 hours.
under 4,000 hours.
All right.
Okay. For airplanes that have accumulated 4,000 or more, my airplane has 12,000
Okay.
or more as the effective date of the AD, inspect within 200 hours time in service after the effective date of this AD or within 12 calendar months after the effective date of this AD, whichever occurs first, which
So
says
the only difference is you have a time limit.
it's forcing you into your annual inspection.
Right.
So you will check this at your next annual. And if you find something, it could be a thing.
Okay.
Okay, so if you don't, so that's kind of the difference. For aircraft with a service kit installed, they want you to do a let's see what we have here. Do a visual inspection of the lower forward door post. Again, they give you guidance on that. As applicable to your aircraft, do not remove the service install or the installed service kit. Instead, inspect for cracking that extends beyond the modified parts.
Okay.
Bigger cracks.
So the crack has continued.
Yeah.
Okay.
At the applicable time specified within 1,000 hours time in service or 36 calendar months. So if you've got the service kit installed within 1,000 hours time in service of that service kit being installed, or 3 years.
Okay.
Okay.
And
So
then if you find a crack that's extended past that, throw the airplane away.
then
have another kit.
that gets into a repetitive inspection. It says if no cracks are found during the initial, you still have to repeat every 3 years, 1,000 hours. If cracks are found during any inspection, within 3 years or 1,000 hours after installing the service kit, repeat at intervals. This is interesting wording. This is kind of creepy. Thereafter, repeat the inspection at intervals not to exceed 36 calendar months or 1,000 hours. So that's going to be the rest of our life. Okay.
Right.
Whichever occurs first from the last inspection, as long as no additional cracks are found. So you kind of need to map. If you have cracks, you need to map them. I would
pictures.
highly recommend getting hold of Cessna single engine support. And if you have a crack, say, okay, I have a crack. Where am I?
Right.
Is this a bad crack, a big crack, a little crack, itty bitty crack? So one of the things I tried doing here, Larry threw this on me real quick, but I tried to find pictures of some cracks, and there are none. That is kind of another thing that the certification office, as a mechanic, when you're performing this airworthiness directive, there's reporting requirements to report back to the FAA certification office of what you find. Name, address of the owner, date of the inspection, serial number, time in service, show a picture or sketch of the crack, things of that nature. So there are some.
So they're wanting to map it also.
They're trying to build a data log on it. So that's what's going on now. So now you have an aircraft, and you're going to, as a minimum, probably from here on out, you got to get into the AD because there's a 200 hours or 12 months. But from there on out, it's going to be 36 months or 1,000 hours. And then they have the service kits. Now the service kits, I thought I saw some pricing, and I have cleverly lost it. The service kits are, and what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the big ships, the 207s first, the one that caused it all.
Okay.
Okay, the 207, what they're going to allow you to do with the service kit is go into the floor and cut some under the pilot and co-pilot seat area. You're going to be able to cut some, it's a very stout structure, cut some rectangular holes, access plates, nut plates. Then you can open that up. You can go in there, add the service kit, drill the holes, and get in there between that and the bulk in front. You'll have accessibility front and rear. So you have good accessibility to drill those holes. So that's what you can do on the 207s, 206s, and 210s. The 210, 206, 207 are kind of a one family. Then we have the 182. 182 is kind of the same deal. It has its own service kit. It ends up where you have the same deal. You have these access plates, so it has its own service kit. In fact, let's see, the 206, 207, that has 205, 206, 207, a service kit 206, SK 206-42. Okay, so then we have the 210s, 205 and 210 is also applicable. It has an SK 210-156 kit. Again, get into the AD, get your mechanic into the AD, get into the service bulletins, these two service bulletins, SEB 95-3, 93-5 R2 and SEB 95-19. Those two SEBs, and they're available on the Cessna website, free download. So, the 206, 207, we'll go kind of do a recap. Service kit 206-42. The 205, 210 is service kit SK 210-156. The 182, very similar kind of deal. Again, has the access plates and all that. That's service kit 182-115, 115. And then we have the 172. The 172 should be easy peasy, right?
Before you go on, so the access plate is to put the kit on or to do the inspection? Can you do the inspection without doing anything to the airplane?
Yes, you can go in there and do the inspection.
Okay.
You can inspect. You can get there and inspect.
Then if you have to put the kit on, you might have to cut some additional access
Right.
holes.
If you have a crack, you got to put a kit on.
Right.
So now you're backed into it.
Okay.
Now our little friends, the 172 and the Hawk XP, the 172 cab and F172, 172 R172K and F172. That service kit 172 SK 172-147. All you have to do to install that is remove the floor.
The whole floor.
Just the floor between the front door pillar and the rear door
Oh,
pillar.
that's better.
Just the entire floor. The part with the seat tracks and all that center stuff. That has to come out. Because I assume that aircraft is not thick enough in those areas to put the big access plates. So you have to remove the whole floor.
That's just to put the doubler kit.
That's to put the service kit in.
You can
You
inspect
still
it.
inspect.
If you find a crack,
Yep.
then you're taking the floor out of the airplane.
Yeah. You're taking the floor out of the airplane. So that's kind of thing, and it depends on whether if you're just Part 91 bombing around having a good time, low time airplane shouldn't be a problem. If you're running off of austere, bush flying, that kind of stuff, you might be really beating it up, and it's going to be something you're going to have to fix. So that's kind of the crux of it. We'll put a little matrix of the service bulletins and the airworthiness directive, how they flow down, but it's kind of a big thing. If it's incumbent that your aircraft goes out there and makes money, you really need to do some planning and see what you need to do as far as picking up those service kits. The kits are pretty pricey. I was just looking at the I think I was looking at the 172 kit, and they were saying 24 man hours to do it, to install it. So it's pretty
include taking the floor up?
That's the whole, yeah, pulling the floor out and all that. I'm a sheet metal
That's
guy.
pretty fast.
The floor isn't a big thing. It's a thing, but
It's a thing.
Yeah, it's a pretty big thing.
Still got to buck
Yeah.
a bunch of rivets.
Now the service kit prices 25 years ago were about $1,000. So do the math. It'll probably be really crazy. Here we go. Man hours. This is per the service bulletins. Cessna assumes that to inspect the doorpost about an hour and a half. That's taking the trim off, pulling the carpet back, bringing the aircraft in, and all that. About an hour and a half. And they're saying about 24 man hours to install
Can
the
you see
service
it with
kits.
your eyes, or do you need a borescope, or do you need a mirror? Do you
I
need a
don't
flash?
know. I haven't done one yet, but we're gonna find out because we've
Find
got
out.
one in the hangar here. Let's see. I've got this other one here. Let's see. The service kit, all this stuff. So yeah, it's a pretty big thing. So get with your mechanic, see it where you are hours wise, that kind of stuff. But it's going to be a pretty big deal. So
But we don't know of any airplanes that have failed because of this.
no,
crash.
I think what may have
So it's preemptive.
yeah, I think it's
more or
preemptive.
less?
Yeah, normally we always say, hey, listen, normally on an airworthiness directive, we talked about this before, is if an airplane comes out of the sky, the manufacturer kind of gets a mulligan. It's like that was a random act. When the second one happens, the FAA shuts it down because that means airworthiness directives. Normally, you've lost 2 lives, which is very important. The FAA doesn't like airworthiness directives. Cessna doesn't like airworthiness directives, but Cessna does have good news. Cessna does have the design and fix and the airworthiness guidance from the airworthiness directive, or the guidance from the airworthiness directive essentially mirrors the service bulletins to a point. But from here on out, on those 172s, 82s, 210s, 206.7s, etc., from here on out, after you figure out where you are this year, it'll be every 3 years, 1,000 hours. You got to go in and look at it. So that's AD 2020. What do we say? Brand new one. I haven't even memorized it yet. AD 2020-18-01.
So if you're just a 100-hour a year flyer,
You got a 3,000. You got a 3,000 hour airplane. Probably not a problem.
but then 36 months you're gonna have to look at it. 36 months you're gonna have to look at it.
Yeah. From here on out, it's going to be 36 months. So that'll be in your airworthiness compliance log. So as an owner, that's when you're getting your airworthiness stuff from your IA for your annual inspection. You should see that pop up, or you'll see it due in however many years or months. That's it. That's all I have, kiddo.
That's all I have.
Okay, that's a quick post-flight checklist. AD 2020-1801. More good stuff coming from the year 2020.
Yep.
Out.
Fly safe.
Fly safe. Oh, hey, wait a minute. Like, subscribe, and hit notifications. Most importantly, hit the like if you can. That really helps us out. And we've got to also thank our sponsor, Tinker D Aviation.
Yeah.
So we've got Tinker D Aviation backing us up.
No Patreons.
Patreon. We've got Patreon going, all that. And also Instagram. I think our Instagram is
Oh, you're starting to grow that. So
hangarats_official, I think.
he's
I'm putting pictures up.
challenged.
Yeah. I'm not good at that. But you're going to see pictures of those kinds of things now that I've figured out how to use my iPhone. Because,
Well, you had a new iPhone too.
and now I have to retrain myself. So, anyway, that's it. I'm out.